Well, welcome back, folks. This is part 2 of day 68. Nothing like having your ISP crap on you and take a dumpster for like three hours. I have to admit that it is most definitely a privilege to have internet connections, but at the same time, constantly paying increasing price for internet connection without fair warning about fixing things and maintenance. 1 hour turned into 2, turned into 3. So I went to take a nap and then had myself some dinner. Now I'm back and I want to at least finish the lessons that I plan on doing. I might actually do a little bit more, seeing that I'm a little bit invigorated. So let's see how long we'll go. I feel like putting in a solid 2 hours to offset the 2 hours that we're missing. I don't quite remember as much as I want. We'll see how rusty it is. This is definitely unprecedented. It's kind of late in the day. Really late in the day. Let's keep on trying to get this right.
1年生
So, 1年生
1年生
何年生
何十年
Oops.
6何年生何十年
How does that work?
何年生何年生
Okay. 何年生
何年生
Okay. 1年生
1年生
私も2年生です。どうぞよろしく。私も2年生。
どうぞよろしく Really?
どうぞよろしく。私も2年生です。どうぞよろしく。
That's pretty good, actually. 私も2年生です。私も2年生です。どうぞよろしく。2年生
2時間2年生
I see why they
2
place
年
those
生で
things.
す。
いいえ、
2
2
年
年生
生で。
ですす。
いいえ、2年生です。
何年生見ます。2年生。1年生。9時間。
9時間
9時間。
こちらはカイさんです。カイさんは私の友達です。大学生です。
Introducing themselves or introducing a friend. Sure. Kochira. Ooh,
Kochira?
there's Kochira again.
こちら
This is the second time they used Kochira, which is the kodoaso, like kosoado version of referring to a person. Is how I remember the usage of this. So kochira wa kai-san desu, right? So
こちら
this is kai-san or kai. Kai-san wa watashi no tomodachi desu. Kai-san is my friend. Daigakusei
Yes.
Yeah. So introducing a friend who happens to also be a college student. Okay. So sen
1000何年生
nanensei. Oh, keep saying sen. Nanensei.
2
2
年
年生
生
1
1
年
年生
生
卵
Just eggs thrown in there. So Yamada-san wa nan nensei desu ka?
何年生
Sure. I'm looking for sensei. Wa sensei desu. Oh, maybe that's where they introduced the kanji. We kind of have the kanji for sensei, not the left kanji though. Who do we have? Oh, Samson. Are you also a sophomore now, Hana? So
花
Hana-san,
さん
Hana-san. 2年今2年生もですか？花さん、今2年生もですか？ Oh, Hana-san mo. Whoops. Where I put the mo in a different place. Actually, no, it could be interpreted as, I don't know about that one. It could be interpreted as, are you also like 2? As in like 2 at the end. I don't know about that one. I guess it's not pointing to Hana-san though from there, so that's fair. Hana-san wa daigakse, sure. Daigakse desu ka? Nannensei desu ka? Sure. Okay.
こんにちは。
Konnichiwa. Samu desu. Interesting.
サムです。
Somehow we went back.
カイさんは1年生ですか？
Kai-san wa 1年生ですか? Kai, or I guess we'll start with the question. Are you a freshman, Kai? Sure.
すみません。ダニエルさんは1年生ですか？
Sumimasen. Danieru-san wa 1年生ですか? Wow. You know, after that 2 or 3 hour rest, Nensei is pretty on the tip now, on the tip of the tongue. Excuse me. Are you a freshman, Daniel? Okay. Yeah. I get it.
花さ
Hana-san
んも
mo
2年生
2年生ですか?
ですか？
今2年生ですか? Sure.
3年生
3年生
3
4年生
4年生
専攻はビジネスと中国語です。
戦後
専攻
incense 戦後はビジネスsomething
専攻はビジネスと中国語です。
と中国です。
中国語です。
Oh, two majors. Fair enough. 戦後はビジネスと中国語です。Sure. Business in Chinese. 3年生 Whoops. 3年生
3年生
4年生はいつも忙しいです。
4
4
年
年生
生は忙しいです。Is that what I heard?
忙しいです。
Yeah. Busy. Well,
いつも4年生はいつも忙しいです。
Okay. It is. Well, that's pretty relatable. 4年生はいつも忙しいです。Very busy. Always
私
busy.
は東京大学の3年生です。専攻はビジネスです。中山さんの専攻は何ですか？
This person is a college student. The other ones don't actually, it's not relevant to this topic. It's a freebie, but they're talking about business major, Tokyo college students, junior Tokyo college students. major in business and asking Nakayama what their major is. Or what their major is. So, 私は東京大学生の Oh no, 大学 私は東京大学の3年生です。専攻はビジネスです。中山さんの専攻は何ですか？ Okay. I am a little faster in the evening after that nap. Okay. something は4年生です。Someone's name? Naomi-san? We'll take that.
数学のプロジェクトは難しいですね。
Ooh.
ケンさんの専攻は数学ですか？ケンさんに聞きましょうか。
Asking about a project, right? A project that's coming up soon. So Sugaku is math. Sugaku no project wa musugashi desu ne. Oh, interesting.
難しい。
Oh, hard. Whoops. Never mind. Musugashi. That's right. Project's hard. It's not coming up next. I'm thinking of Mosuku. Ken-san no senko. Ken-san no senko wa I keep saying this. Su. Yeah, su, not shu. No. Not shu. Su. Sugaku desu ka? Earlier today I kept saying shugaku. Sugaku. Sugaku desu ka? Ken-san ni ikimashou ka? This is the idea of asking Ken. So this was introduced previously. Ikimashou ka? Asking about the project, the hard math project. Okay. Sugaku o benkyou shimasu. That works. Oyogimasu. Sorry. Oyogimasu. That would be interesting to envision. 1年生、
1年生、
2年生、 4年生、 3年生、 7年生。 That's all of them. That's the 5. 誕生日、
誕生日、
ネックレス、腕時計、
腕時計、
That's kind of weird the way they say it, but 腕時計。数学、
数学、
数学。And then 専
専
攻、
攻、
2年生、3年生、何年生、1年生、4年生。Oh, I got the mora down that time. I keep adding an extra beat on 4年生 and 2年生 to match the other ones. The 何年生、3年生、1年生. So I had this habit of extending the yo even though it's just yo, and then ni. So gotta start paying attention to those. I think the numbers I tend to add more than one mora here and there. Okay. Are you a junior? Naomi-san. Or, yeah, Naomi, okay. Naomi-san. Junior. 3年生。3年生ですか? Or,
は
Naomi-san は
3
3
年
年
生
生ですか? How would you... That sounds alright.
エリカさんの専攻はビジネスですか？
エリカさんの専攻はビジネスですか？ビジネスですか? We're being a little more confident. Is your major business? Okay, fine. Is your major business? Yeah, that's definitely what that says. Wait. Yeah. That is definitely what that says. I don't know how about that. Is your major Korean, Daniel? ダニエルさんは韓国語 I mean, no. ダニエルさんは専攻 Oh no. So this is more of aダニエルさん専攻は韓国語ですか? Or do I know? Wait a minute. This is a little...
ダニエルさん専攻は
専攻は
韓国語ですかはのは
ダニエルさんは専攻の韓国語ですか? How that works? Oh, wait. No. Oh no. I'm not so sure about this one. Full send? Yeah, it's probably no, right? It's Daniel's major.
花さんはまだ3年生ですか?
Yeah, the English interpretation is not on the mark here. I don't like the Duolingo interpretation. It's making it ambiguous. 花さんはまだ3年生ですか? Are you still a junior? Oh no.
4年生じゃないです。
4年生じゃないです。I'm not a senior, sure. Yeah, I don't like the phrasing. I don't like this phrasing.
ダニエルの
It would be is Daniel's major Korean would be the phrasing here. That they use, but they're swapping up the phrasing now. So it's implicit.
3
Yeah.
3
So they wanted this.
専攻
専攻
です。です。
専攻は
韓
韓
国語
国語ですか? Which is perfectly fine. I suppose the essence is still there. Would I say it this way though? Yes, I'd probably say it this way. But I wouldn't say the English this way though. I would say is Daniel's major Korean, as opposed to is your major Korean, Daniel. Alternatively, I'd probably say Danieru-san. 専攻は韓国語ですか? As in, I pause and drop this.
No.
And Paul addressed Daniel. Danieru-san. 専攻は韓国語ですか? Right? Just
No.
But this would be is Daniel's major, you could be asking someone else and saying, is Daniel's major this? Instead, in my opinion. That's a little bit of a... I don't agree with that, sort of. It's a little weird, I do have to admit.
私の家族はドイツ出身です。
I heard a lot of things, so I heard watashi,
私の
no, I heard doitsu,
ドイツ
doitsu. Oh, wait, maybe
のも
I heard watashi mo doitsu,
の
no, something else.
私の家族はドイツ出身です。
No.
も私の家族はドイツ出身です。
Oh, kazoku.
家族
Kazoku
も
mo doitsu
は
wa
は
doitsu.
です。です。
What?
私の家族はドイツ出身です。
Oh. Sushin desu.
出身です。
watashi no kazoku mo, well, actually,
私の家族はドイツ出身です。
wow.
私の家族はドイツ出身です。
Okay. Watashi no, that works too. Mo, if they're also, but that's okay. Watashi no kazoku wa doitsu sushin desu. Fair enough.
ドイツ出身です。でも今日本に住んでいます。家族とドイツ語を話します。毎日友達と日本語を話します。
Ooh. Wow. They don't live in Germany anymore. They live in Japan, and they do speak Nihongo all the time, every day actually. So it's implied that they speak two languages. Technically, oh yeah, they do say that. Yeah, they speak both German and Japanese. That's cool. We're up to 4 sentences. I think most of the prompts should be this long, really. At minimum, this long. Deutschu sushin desu. So the person is from Germany. But now, demo, right now. So that, however, now, I live in Japan. So, でも今日本に住んでいます right? I live in Japan now. 家族とドイツ語を話します So he talks German with his family, or he or she, or this person talks German with their family, and then まだ毎日とwait 毎日と毎日と友達毎日友達と日本語を話します Oh, every day he talks Japanese. He speaks Japanese with his this person speaks Japanese with their friends every day. Fair enough. I was thinking of something else. I thought they might have done something fancy, but it's not.
フィリピンはいつも暖かいです。
フィリピンはいつも暖かいです。
暖かいです。
We already heard this expression.
フィリピンはいつも暖かいです。
Which is a nice expression, honestly. Bring back weather.
夏休みはフィリピンに行きます。フィリピンでタガログ語を勉強します。
She's studying to study abroad, yeah. In the Philippines. Takaro kuko. Takaro kuko. So let's see. Natsu. Oh, Natsu. Ooh. Natsu yasumi. That's cool. I hadn't used that phrase in a while. Natsuyasumi, summer break. Natsuyasumi wa Natsuyasumi wa Philippines ni ikimasu. Going to the Philippines during I don't wow. So going to the Philippines in the summer break, during summer break, I guess. It's wa, interesting. Using wa there, I guess. Yeah, it's a topic marker, sure. And then Philippine de they're gonna speak Tagalog in while at Philippine or at Philippine in Philippine or whatever preposition that is now. In Philippine. Philippine de Takaroku ka. Akuko. Takaroku ko. Takaroku ko. Yes. Takaroku ko. O benkyou shimasu. So she is not speaking, but studying. Or that this person, yeah, she is studying Tagalog in the Philippines. Sure. Studying abroad. Very nice. Cool.
タガログ語はフィリピンの言語ですか？タガログ語
Tagalog wa Philippine? Philippine. Wait.
タガログ語はフィリピンの言語ですか？
Oh, right.
の
No,
ご飯
oops.
ご飯言語
Gengo
で
ですす
か？
か？Tagalog wa Philippine no genko ですか？ Genko. Yeah, genko ですか？ Tagalog wa Philippine no genko ですか？ What a couple hours of rest would do for pronunciation. Let's see. Samson wa dono genko o hanashimasu ka? Hanashimasu. Sure. Samson wa dono genko o hanashimasu ka?
フィリピン人です。
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 Okay. Tagalog o hanashimasu? Erika-san wa ドイツに住んでいます。
ドイツ
毎日ドイツ語を話します。
ドイツ語
フィリピン人です。フィリピン人です。
フィリピン人
フィリピンです。
です。
yeah. ダニエルさんはドイツ出身です。Sure.
ドイツ
語ができます。
ドイツ語
Sure. タカルク語ができます。できますか？ Oh, okay.
タガログ語
Oh, actually, no,
ができます。
works. 宝くこができますか？ Right? Oh, I think I'm actually better in the evening. Now that I think about it, my voice is a lot more flexible in the evening. Nah, we're not moving to evenings. We're like really late evenings. It'd be kind of tough. Ken-san wa Doitsu sushin desu.
ドイツ
Sushin go o hanashimasu.
ドイツ語
ドイツ語を話します。Okay. Oh, we heard this phrase before, right? So I don't know about it. So do you do it? Yeah, you do. So Filipino, yeah, Philippine, interesting. Filipino Genko wa ara, or do I do it the other way? Oh no. Let's do it this way. Nah, so let's do Tagalog語
タガログ語
はフィリピンの
言語
ですか? Okay, so they on it. I see. Honestly, you could flip it and still be fine. You could say, フィリピンの言語はタガログ語ですか?
花さんはどの言語ができますか?
花さんはどの言語ができますか? Which language do you know, Hana? Ooh. Goryoshin. Oh, actually, is it Goryoshin? I think it's just Goryoshin. No. Oh, with your parents. Yeah. Goryoshin to ドイツを話しますか?
ご両親とドイツ語を話しますか?
Did I miss the O? The extra O? Possibly. 両親とドイツ語を話しますか? Which language do you speak? Oh, okay. I think we're still going with a wa here. ダニエルさんはどの言語を話しますか?
駅
Oh, this is our kanji for eki.
駅
I was in the middle of writing eki, and the heckin' ISP cut out for 3 hours with no warning, no maintenance, no... This is what you pay for, right? Not even a notification on like, hey, we're repairing it. It's gonna be so-and-so. Here's a emotional check for myself. Sometimes when you have... I have to be reasonable here because I've done this for 68 days straight. Actually, I've done this for over like hundreds of days, and this hasn't happened before, right? It might have happened once or twice. So the problem with the human condition is that when things happen infrequently, they become more, and there's a lot more emotional upheaval. So I had to calm myself during the hours that the internet was off. So I tried to take a nap and ate something and tried to relax. Oftentimes, I still feel quite alive when something out of my control happens that kind of negates a whole day. And sure enough, I can definitely understand all the... I typically gotta check if it's because my router broke or something. You know, you could have technical failings. So I got on my phone, used my mobile phone, right? Mobile data to find if the network is actually down. So they are down, but not before I saw some people who are much more vocal and emotionally unhinged than myself. Definitely captures that initial zing, right? And I still have to think about the service I pay for. Usually 99% of the time, it doesn't disconnect. So I am grateful of that. It still does not... It's still a really weird way to remind yourself that you're human, because oftentimes there's not a lot of things that really trigger me, but there are things in life that remain really consistent, and when they suddenly become inconsistent and outside of your control, all of a sudden it's very spotty, but it very much makes you feel alive again. I wanted to like get a punching bag or something, kick it or punch it or something, because I really did not have anything planned. I didn't have a plan B. Well, I guess taking a nap and eating was more or less the plan B.
寮はキャンパスの近くですか?
Okay.
寮はキャンパスの近くですか? 寮
Dio. What was Dio? Oh, dorm or portion. Dio wa campus. Campus. Where the heck is Doko desu ka? Campus.
キャンパス
That's so weird looking. Yeah. Campus. Campus. Something.
寮はキャンパスの近くですか?
No, 近く
近くですか?
Eh? Is the campus dorm nearby? Near, I guess you could say. Is the campus dorm near? Oh, is... Actually...
「寮はキャンパスの近くですか?
Is your dorm near campus? Yeah. I need the subject. Yeah, so is your dorm near campus? I'm like, no, that's not the subject. The dorm is not the subject here. It's the topic. Yeah, is your dorm near campus? I'm gonna have to get used to that. I've been so used to not even thinking about the subject now. When translating. Okay.
私のルームメイトは毎晩6時間ギターを弾きます。とてもうるさいです。新しいルームメイトが欲しいです。
That's so good. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's everything I know, but also new things, and it's hilarious because I'm gonna be real. I was in this position in year 1. 私のルーム oh yeah, how does this go? ルームメイト ルームメイト yeah. 私のルームメイトは毎晩6時間ギターを弾きます。his roommate plays the guitar for 6 hours every evening. Or tonight, or I'm gonna say every night. Yeah, every night. I usually say every evening, but it's late in the day, so every night. とてもうるさいです。It's very noisy. 新しいルーメイト ルームメイト、ルームメイトが欲しいです。I want a new roommate. Yeah, it doesn't like his roommate. Roommate's very noisy. Although, they could have asked either way, but that's pretty funny.
寮に住んでいます。
That's great.
寮
寮
に住んでいます。
Sure, I live in the dorm.
花さんもこの寮の2階に住んでいますか？いいですね。
Okay. I don't know about living in dorms being nice, but alright. They're in the dorms. Or sounds good. 花さんもこの寮の2年生2階に住んでいますか？ Oh, okay, never mind. I kind of misinterpreted that. They live, Hana-san also lives on the second floor dorms. Or the dorms on the second floor. Or you could say second floor dorms. Yes. Hana-san also lives on, do Hana-san or does Hana-san also live on the second floor dorms? In the second floor dorms? Sounds good. Wait a minute. 住んでいますか？ 2階 So second floor dorms. Yeah. Hana-san also lives on the... Does Hana-san... I don't know about the E desu ne. I guess they're realizing it. They're saying it in realization. I don't know how I feel about this. Funny.
ナオミさんはどんなルームメイトがいますか？ナオミさんは
どんなルームメイト
どんなルームメイト
ですか？ or 今
いますがか
ナオミさんはNaomi-san was like asking. Oh, wait. Maybe that's... No. That's not what the other... Naomi-san wa donna roommate ga imasu ka? So, Naomi-san, what kind of roommate do you have? Or is it asking... What kind of roommate? Yeah. Thanks, Hi-Fi. Yeah, what kind of roommate do you have, Naomi-san? It's not a... I know it's not a question mark. It's not a question mark. Ka is not a question mark. But it's a mark of unknown. So... Late night stream? No, my internet dropped out for 3 hours. So I'm back from the internet dropout. And Ka is not a question mark. It's a marker of unknown. So you have to get into the tone of the context. So that person could be suspiciously in realization that is the tone. So that last statement that I was talking about is like, it kind of sounds like they just realized that Hana-san also lives in the second floor, and then they're saying "ii desu ne" as a way. Oh, you're talking about your typo? Oh, okay. But yeah, the whole Japanese thing, I think Duolingo doesn't explain that ka isn't a question mark. But that is a funny coincidence. Sorry, I was still stuck on having. There was a prompt right before you talked, right before you said something, that said, Hana-san, the person realized that, does Hana-san also live on the second floor dorms? And then they followed up with "ii desu ne," as in sounds good, or like, all right. I'm like, so did you ask a question and get a response back? Like, oh, it's more like, maybe that's happened, not so sure. And it's like, all right, sure, whatever. No, I still don't really know how that tracks. It'll probably come up again, but anyway. How are you doing? Yeah, so the late night stream is because I was halfway through my daily thing. And my ISP, my internet service provider, decided, oh, no, that's okay. You know, I waited 1 hour and I took a nap. I got up and it was still out. So I had dinner. It was still out. And right as I finished dinner, it came back. So you gotta get back on. Gotta keep on the lessons. That's how it works. You gotta, you know, stay true. Stay true to the discipline. Honestly though, I kind of think in Japanese almost all the time. So it's perfectly alright. This is no more than I've already thought about. Thanks for the encouragement, Hi-Fi. I didn't ever ask you, what do you do with Japanese? Or do you do Japanese? Do you study Japanese anymore? Or are you a Japanese speaker who happens to speak English very well? Honestly, I got the sense that you do know or use Japanese in some way. Unless you're not here anymore. 3年生。Yes.
3年生。
3年生。
駅。
1年生。何年生。2年生。スーツ。寮。Heckin' orange. オレンジ。
オレンジ。
数学。
数学。
数学。I said that a little quick. 数学。キャンパス。キャンパス。
キャンパス。
yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm saying campus. They didn't go with campus. But campus would be okay. Campus. 私の something. What is that something? That's fine. What do we got? キャンパス。キャンパスの近くです。Nios. What the heck is Nios? Apato. That works. Apato. Wait, am I reading this incorrectly? Nyos. Oh, Newsu. Oh, that's new. Just kidding. That's Newsu. News. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, yo is the. Yeah, yo is this. Not you. Newsu. And then Sarada. Self-explanatory. Campus. You are studying Japanese. I follow some Japanese streamers on Twitch and talk with broken Japanese. How's that going? Maybe one day we can throw Japanese phrases back and forth. Probably not for another 6 months though. Oh yeah, no worries. Maybe we can throw broken Japanese back. In after 75 days, I'm gonna start using broken Japanese with myself. So I'm gonna be doing commentary in broken Japanese back and forth. So to encourage myself to bridge the gap. And then probably after, I'm gonna say 150 days, maybe we can throw some broken Japanese. I'm very used to using hybrid communication. It's a very mid ground for me. And then every once in a while I shift exclusively to a language like English. So actually, I quite like that you like following Japanese streamers on Twitch and talking with broken Japanese. That's kind of nice being able to do that. It's like the natural step for me. I know a lot of people do the thing where they jump from like, oh, I don't want to speak until I'm like absolutely sure, and I don't want to speak until I'm absolutely fluent, or at least conversational level. But for me, it's middle ground. It's going okay. My listening is still off, but I still like squeezing my brain regarding Japanese sentence phrase and construction. That sounds amazing. I actually, it's not for everyone, but I personally like swapping back and forth. So like, for example, when I speak Fujianese, I would use Fujianese construction. If I start a sentence in Fujianese, I can fill in English where the Fujianese is supposed to be if I don't have the vocabulary. But if I start a sentence in English, I'm able to fill in the English words with Fujianese with English construction. So a lot of times that becomes the basis of juggling multiple languages. So I personally think that's amazing. You're probably one of the few that already have mentioned this. It actually is quite natural. It's not for everyone, but if you feel like really comfortable and it doesn't make you feel like apprehensive or insecure, I actually think that is the natural stepping stone. But a lot of people like to go hard and skip that step. They like to do the whole like immersion thing and get over being insecure and all that stuff. But for me, I like to encourage people to use any amount they know, especially English. When other people talk to me where they would say, oh, I'm sorry, like my English is not that great, it's my second language. And I'm like, if you want, you can say English words and throw in whatever language that comes natural to you. It actually it's a very, very comforting thing. And to me, it's impressive that when you become truly multilingual, you snap back and forth anyways. At least in my opinion. That's from a perspective of someone who, if there's any credibility to me, I've always thought in more than one language simultaneously. So I think what you're doing sounds a lot of fun. Maybe we can do that in the future when I know enough Japanese for conversation. Right now, probably not so much. Probably not so much. I look forward to how your progress is. Did you pick up anything that's interesting? I kind of want to hear, because I haven't really talked to anybody about listening to Japanese streamers a lot and like interacting with them. Have you ever picked up anything? Like, for example, if I follow a blogger or like someone, even in English, for a very long time, I would pick up some of their phrases, you know, like it becomes natural to pick up one of their phrases. Have you picked up any of those phrases? I'm kind of curious. Like, I don't know. I can't think of one. For anime, I absolutely love omoshiroi. Omoshiroi. Omoshiroi is so good. Omoshiroi. Shiroi. Am I saying that wrong? No, we're good. But idesne is quickly becoming something that's nice. And I say desne a lot now, even in English. And it's just duo thing. I'm not actually saying it because I picked up anywhere. Like, I actually say it in English sometimes now. Like, huh. That's very interesting, isn't it? I don't usually say that in English until I started using Japanese or learning Japanese. Now I follow my sentences, my statements with a rhetorical question, which Japanese people, like Japanese phrases, lots of like the stuff I listen to, they follow with rhetorical questions. In English, you don't really do that much, actually. It's not that common. In my case, I speedrun obscure retro games, so my Japanese talk is usually with speedrunners too. Ooh, nice. Have you gone through... I am thinking I'm gonna go through retro Final Fantasy games, like JRPGs in the future, and I heard that a lot of it's like in hiragana, actually, not even integrating a lot of kanji, but have you already done like JRPG stuff for yourself? That's kind of neat. Oh, that's a great way to like practice, get a chance to do things that you other things that you like, as well as using your Japanese. I haven't decided what my first game is going to be. I think it's going to be a retro style storyteller game. I don't know if you're familiar with the game Dakwin. But this person is I've got her name. She is a music producer, or a music producer turned video game developer. And her first game was Dakwin. And she came out with another game called Mr. Saito, or Saito-san. So I'm gonna play, probably this will be the first game where I use Japanese and read Japanese. But these are I don't know if you're familiar with Freebird games, but they make these like retro storytelling games. One of them would be like To the Moon. So she worked with the people who made To the Moon, and then Finding Paradise for like music track. And when I think of retro games, these are those like 16 like 32-bit clicking, pointing game things. You haven't done a game in Japanese? Ooh, you should try doing a game in Japanese. I would love to hear what you think. I mean, you know, if you speedrun obscure retro games, I feel like some of the beautiful retro style, like 32-bit, they're not technically 32-bit, but they're modern, right? Modern 32-bit storytelling games, they're often localized in Japanese, and they have some beautiful hot takes on life. But one of my personal favorite are the games from Freebird Games. I speedrun a game in Japanese because it's the fastest version, but it's a speedrun, so no reading dialogue. But hey, you know, Sci-Fi Gemini, let me pick your brain a little bit. How about working on speedrunning, reading Japanese in these storytelling games? What do you think about that? You can use it as a motivation to be able to like read Japanese faster and faster. You know, you start with one, like, oh, chapter 1, all right, you know, 5 minutes, let's read this dialogue, see if you can comprehend it, and then, you know, time yourself, and then go a little bit faster. That would be kind of cool. I'm just picking your brain. I like doing this, brainstorming ways to connect with your speedrunning thing. Obviously, I'm not a speedrunner, so I don't want to make it sound like that's not the point of speedrunning. I'm trying to like see if there's any clever way that you can integrate your Japanese learning with your speedrunning, right? That would be kind of fun. I haven't ever thought about speed reading before until now, until you mentioned speed running. That would be fun to see how quickly you can read with, you know, relatively speed reading. That's kind of interesting. And I mean speed reading out loud. So like you're also practicing your pronunciation. And obviously it has to be you're aiming to constantly be at the edge of making mistakes. You get to like practice getting your error rate down and your accuracy up while pushing the limit, right? You can go very slow at first and then try to go quicker. That's kind of what I've been doing. However, I'm using Duolingo, so there's not enough full context, right? Full context. But in video games, when they're telling a story, there's full context. So you have like extra things to work on, contextual flow and stuff that you can work on. I think it'll come naturally when starting reading various texts through, right? Yeah. As you read more stuff, you read faster. Yeah. So that's what I mean. So if you're a speedrunner already, how about speed reading some visual novel game? Well, not particularly those visual novel games, but some storytelling games. That would be interesting. Or at least I don't think anyone has done it before as much. So naturally, in 6 months or so, I'm gonna start reading. I kind of like voice acting or messing around with voice acting. So when I'm playing video games, I read a lot of dialogue heavy games. So my integration is that in the future, I'm gonna read games in Japanese. So maybe even mess around with Japanese, like pretend to be 2 or 3 different characters while reading Japanese. That's kind of my take on the whole thing. I don't speedrun, so maybe maybe perhaps you would speedrun something. I wouldn't mind watching that, actually. And obviously, not at the sacrifice of accuracy. Just an extra challenge for reading. Playing Japanese video games are my route to my future. Much like how I developed my English. My English was developed through video games. A lot of it was. Okay, so 私のアパートはキャンパスの近くです。Thanks for sharing, by the way. Speed running, huh? I know of a person that I have a personal friend that loves Halo, the Master Chief Collection, so much that they're basically, that's all they're doing. Speed running when they're playing Halo. Yeah, they're working on that on their spare time while they're playing OS. During like OS breaks, they're doing Halo speedruns. That's my only connection to like on a personal level with someone who speedruns. I don't speedrun it at all. I hope you probably don't get the impression that I'm a speedrunner. I'm probably like a slow runner, if that's a thing. A slow, distracted. Everything I do is incredibly distracting and slow. So it might, I don't know if that makes you, I do trigger people, how slowly I move things, because I get easily distracted and I kind of embrace the distractions. Hopefully it's not too, that's just a casual player. I'm gonna add one layer to that. I'm a hardcore casual player. Sci-fi. I am a hardcore casual player. Not a speedrunner, but a hardcore casual player. As in, if I pause on a screen, I can spend 10 hours talking about the details in that screen if you want me to. I will stop right here and I'll talk for the next 5 hours about living in a dorm with a roommate. I'm a hardcore casual player. So if something is casual, I'm gonna make it hardcore. And it's just not fast or focused. Not a fast focused person, you know. A life's a journey. And boy, am I gonna make you want to be on that journey. At least in my opinion. If you're going on a road trip with me, I'm gonna make you like that road trip. No, it's not that aggressive, but I will probably point out a lot of things. That's usually how it goes. Live in the moment, not in the goal. So not reaching for that goal post. We gotta enjoy the ride while it's happening. Hardcore casual. I live in a dorm with a roommate. So let's see. I lived in a dorm with roommates when I was in college. Some of my best friends, actually. My best friends. To this day. We're like brothers from another mother, as they say. Okay. So, Ryo. No. Roommate. Yeah, roommate to Ryo de, oh no. Oh, Ryo, okay. Ryo ni sundeimasu, sure.
ルームメイト
Roommate to Ryo
に住んでいます
Nisundeimasu. Yeah, I'm a hardcore casual player. And to describe that, I'm a hardcore learner as well. A hardcore casual learner. So if you're speed running through Duolingo, I'm hardcore slow learning through Lingo. I'm going to be squeezing every ounce of everything. So like if you have a favorite game, say like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it will take me about 3 or 4 times as long to beat the game because I'm more interested in what's in the game than reaching the gold post. Hardcore slow runner. It took you, it took you 120 hours to 100% this game. It's going to take me 400 hours, but that's okay. I'm going to be talking about 400 times the volume. Always at 150%. You know? You might be at 150% speeding to the end, but I'm 150% going slowly. Am I game dev by chance? No, I am not. I have been involved in game development, but more in a feedback situation. I wanted to be a game dev though. Nah, I'm just a retired, quote unquote, retired scientist. Not a game dev. I talk about design a lot, as though I'm a game dev, but I usually try to talk about design, but that's not. What is interesting about game dev is that they have to understand how the human behaves to your product. So usually the way I talk about things is how things are designed to engage people, right? So game devs tend to have to take that into consideration. I had a chance once in a while to have a relationship with game devs. It's kind of neat. Are you related to a game dev? Like, do you do game development at all? Sci-fi? There's not that big of a difference between game development in the sense that I like game development and learning. Because that kind of way of playing sounds like game dev where they get various ideas. Yeah. So I had a feeling that's probably the impression you're getting. I think about most things from a design perspective. You have no connection to game devs? I see. Most of my feedback in science, you deal with methodology and construction all the time. So, and then you talk about their significance and how they impact things. So in a way, my draw to game development, game design, and Duolingo, like the way Duolingo designs, when you design like a class, for example, when you design or your syllabus, like seminars, and how do you get students to get grades and learn things, it's often very similar. There are a lot of overlapping concepts and ideas that you have to spend time on as game development. So when I play video games, I talk about the game design most of the time. It's not as interesting what they write about or like what they do as more of I'm collecting ideas from everyone. I thought about making a board game. I still have some schematics for a board game, which could be a digital game, but it's not in my wheelhouse. I don't like managing a lot of people. Like if you want to make a game come true, you could solo dev it for the next 10 years and pull a solo dev game, or you hit up a bunch of people and then you become the management, right? A director deals with management too. Like you have to be involved in production. So not my cup of tea, but yeah. Do you have any interest in game development, sci-fi? その駅は仕事? No. What do we have? Ocha. Ocha. That doesn't help. Oh. 大学. 大学の資格です. Sure. I want to write concepts. That would be fun to write concepts, behavioral concepts, and reward models for game development. I think I can be a pretty alright or decent person at looking at game design from the standpoint of engagement, getting people to learn naturally, intuitive design, problem solving in video games. That would be really cool. I don't think game devs are looking for a like a residential amateur non-professional psychologist deal with game design. My live stream schedule has changed. Why? Kishab, today I didn't get to finish my second half of my lesson. Kishab, my internet, my ISP cut out for 3 hours, so I'm finishing up the rest of my lesson. There won't be a live schedule change. Although I lied, there is going to be a live schedule change. Starting tomorrow's the launch day of a patch of a live service game that I play. So you're probably going to see me up late tomorrow as well, Kishab. And then every Monday is a reset day for that game. So every Monday or your Tuesday morning when you get up, I will probably still be learning Duolingo. Or using Duolingo anyways. You have no interest in game dev? What do you, may I ask, Sci-Fi Gemini, what do you do outside of pleasure and hobby? I like seeing what makes a good, bad video game, but I don't see myself actually doing game dev. I see. Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Here's my 2 cents, right? Here's my 2 cents about it. Designing games and playing games or enjoying games, right? They're like 2 different worlds. And I would say they only overlap. If you take the boxes, they only overlap like 30% from a psychological perspective. Psychological, like pragmatic perspective. So I can definitely appreciate your position. For me, the reason why I'm making my 2 cents is there's this thing about like science, right? Science was very similar. A lot of times when you read science, right? This is what we have the whole expression, internet experts. When you read science, it constitutes like 80%. But there's a 20% overlap where it doesn't overlap with the 80%. So I was in science, but the stuff that people read that are exciting, divisive, fast, you know, you go on YouTube and the top 10 discoveries when you're actually doing science, 80% of the time is a lot of wet work, in quotations. So much like game design, I like the idea of evaluating game design. And I already know about like a lot of the production, human resources regarding game stuff. And that stuff, there's a reason why I'm not in science at the moment, because the other 80%, yeah, it can be a little rough. So I can definitely resonate when you say you like seeing what makes a good and bad video game from the end user, as opposed to doing it yourself. Because honestly, when you do it for a profession, it turns your hobby that you enjoy as the end user into, you gotta really love it. And it does involve a skill set that is 80-20 split. And it's not a coincidence I use 80-20. Usually it's 80-20 a lot of times. Very, very astute and self-aware. 4 days back, I took the N5 exam. Oh yeah, that's right, Kishab. How did the exam go? It wasn't tough, but the listening part was hard. I see. So you passed, Kishab. It sounds like you passed, and you're going to Japan. Yeah? Yeah, Kishab? All green lights? Dude, if you pass, congratulations. No luck necessary, right? Kishab's over at YouTube, I find, if you're wondering. I talk to two different things at the same time. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Sometimes people find that distracting. But I am a hardcore casual learner. So we gotta maximize the stimuli. Hey. I don't know when the results will come. Oh, so it's not immediate. It's not a computerized result. But it will likely be after 3 weeks. Okay. Well, if you said it wasn't that tough, but you know that the listening part was hard, that sounds like a very grounded perspective. So, I'm rooting for you, Kishab. You knew that I was multi-streaming? Okay. I hope, because not a lot of people are very comfortable with the double conversation. But generally, those people don't stay around for too long. I like to give people the impression that I hold multiple conversations all the time. I always talk to myself a lot. So I think if anyone who sticks around, who's used to my way of engagement, they'll probably they'll probably have to get comfortable with the idea that I talk a lot in different contexts, and I juggle a lot of topics all at once. Sometimes that can be very distracting for someone who wants to focus on things. So oftentimes that can be a little irritating as the subject keeps moving back and forth. I appreciate that you are aware and you're still here. Apato. And the only reason I'm multi-streaming now, as opposed to way earlier, I've been streaming for 5 years on Twitch, plus 5 years plus on Twitch, is largely because recently that clause was lifted. So immediately I'm like, this is my thing. I enjoy talking, observing other people's behavior multiple ways. So it is how I stay very, very enthusiastic and not be burned out by anything. I have slightly reduced my learning sessions on Duolingo and am now focusing on studying from the book Mina no Nihongo and grammar. Nice. What language of Mina no Nihongo are you using? Actually, does that book come in multiple languages? And it's a very common one. I agree. The Mina no Nihongo. Mina, and then the other one is Genki. But the reason I asked what language, because there's like ripples in the Japanese learning community between those two books. and talking about like which one's forward, which one is bridge centric, what is the target language and what is the native language speaker they're targeting, and stuff like that. So I'm kind of curious because you strike me as someone who's already multilingual but learning Japanese. Ishab. There are a few people that are revealed that they use textbooks in their other language, actually. So someone already said that they were using a French to Japanese textbook. So I love gathering and hearing the different approaches that everyone has. Usually very, very interesting, because obviously my approach is very different, right? My approach is incredibly different. We'll see where this takes us. I think Minna no Nihongo is only available in Japanese because all the students in Japan read it in Japanese. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't know if it's becoming popular enough that they will do like a transcription of it, right? Or a transliteration of it of some sort. Genki is the English one that people say it targets native English speakers. Or Japanese, right? And then someone else earlier today shared that they're using another book called Learning Japanese on Your Own or something, and it's targeted for self-learners. So there's another book out there that someone is using that is targeting for someone who is self-learning. So that's kind of interesting too. Multiple approaches. I haven't touched a textbook yet, but one day I think I'm going to touch like 2 or 3 of those books, just as from a perspective post Duolingo. I'm thinking of doing that sometime. Oh, I don't know if I can stream that actually. I don't know if there's like some licensing problems, so I'm going to have to check with that. I am doing something else though in the future. I'm going to use some grade readers in the future. So around 100 days, I'm probably gonna read and maybe practice some fun little voice acting stuff. Read like grade readers because they're free and they don't mind people using it for educational purpose. I'm not sure about those textbooks though. I don't think I'm allowed to stream those things if they're being sold, right? Sometimes if you're a professional educator, you can get away with showing things for an educational purpose and not a monetary gain, not for commercial use. However, technically, I think streaming is considered commercial use. So, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll get sponsored one day. I would love to show limited time something that's sponsored. That would allow me to, yeah. But anyways. You're heading to the gym? Leg day? Oh, leg and shoulder day? Good luck. Good luck, Kisha. Good luck with your day. I will probably catch you probably tomorrow as you get up because tomorrow's launch day, and maybe I'll see you and converse a little every Monday. Kisha. Take care. Enjoy. So, Apato, yeah, Apato wa campus no chikaku desu. Oh, watashi no. I guess they want watashi no. Watashi no apato wa campus no chikaku desu. Fair enough. Eki no chikaku. 駅の近くに住んでいます。近くに住んでいます。
花さんはどんなルームメイトがいますか？
花さんはどんなルームメイトがいますか？花さんはどんなルームメイトがいますか？ Okay. What kind of roommate do you have, Hana? 原宿駅の Oh. I just made the connection of the use of no. Okay, sorry. Wait. Oh, okay. Wait. Harajuku eki wa apato no chikaku desu. Hold up. I just realized this is actually another grammar point with no. Obviously, Duolingo is not sharing that, but I just realized now. Okay.
原宿
eki
は アパートの
chikaku
近く
whoops.
私
Watashi no chikaku. Watashi no apato no chikaku desu.
です。
So, Hirajuku eki wa watashi no apato no chikaku desu. Okay, sure. Is it convenient near the station? So, is it convenient near the station? Wow, that's strong. Strong arming. Bendy. Okay. Eki no chikaku wa bendy desu ka? Or is it bendy wa no. Uh-oh. Interesting. Eki
no chikaku.
No.
Bendy
Wait.
wa de ka.
I would probably phrase it like this, but that might be not it. Eki no chikaku wa bendy desu ka? Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah, I got the multi-layered no. Yeah, so things that I don't share too much. Lots of people ask me sometimes, I get asked, am I using only Duolingo, right? I'm not. However, Duolingo inspires everything. Everything I know is inspired off Duolingo, and then the people I talk to, the people that I interact with. So, things that I already know. No, ni, de, or right? Te. I read Tofuku articles, and then I review Tofuku articles whenever these discussions come up. The wa, the ka. I already mentioned the whole ka marking the unknown. So I know almost all the particles multi-uses, and I might forget some, but then I go over it. So I habitually read grammar articles to bed, like I read grammar articles to sleep, whatever comes up during the day. Yeah, so I do read Tofuku, and I click on many things. So like, when they compare, they always link to other particles. So they do this all the time, like cross and stuff. So I read until I get tired, and then I go to bed. So whenever something comes up, if I forget, I review most of these things over and over again. So I actually know a lot outside Duolingo, and it's because we have discussions about Duolingo. So when I'm like, I don't know this, and then someone comes in and volunteers some particle things, like, oh yeah, I kind of remember reading about that. Then I go back in Tofuku in the evening. So basically, all these things, when they come up, they're fun. They're really fun. Like I'm looking forward to all the particle use that Duolingo comes up by pattern. So it's kind of like a video game, right? If I can relate to your speedrunning thing, sometimes speedrunning, you need a place to start. So I have a reference outside. But it's also cool when you do it. You know, when you do the thing you're referencing. So Tofuku is my reference. Tofuku is my reference for Duolingo. So when I'm in Duolingo, I'm technically processing a lot more about particles than Duolingo has to offer. It's kind of like discovering a route, right? You're discovering a route as you're going, but you have a reference. So the routing can come from the reference, as in, oh, this is another variant of this trick. There's another variant of this mechanic in Duolingo. So when the new pattern comes up, you recognize that pattern being associated with another pattern. So all these particles are considered patterns that I take back to my reference. And then it gets faster and faster as I see these patterns come up more and more. So back and forth between the reference and Duolingo. And that's kind of what I see in game design. How you can get someone to, like, puzzle games do this a lot in its fundamental core. How do you get the player to intuit the pattern and then build upon that externally somewhere? So then you have community building, and community building creates these references. Tofuku being one, a reference for the Japanese language, right? So this relationship is still intact. So the way I'm doing this over like the multiple days, like 68 days and on, is to demonstrate that in real time, how to connect all the things so that even Duolingo, with all the things it lacks, you can use it to your advantage. What it does well, right? As a game, as a pattern thing, right? And then you can enhance it with references from outside. So I'm making Duolingo work while evaluating Duolingo. And then maybe in the future, who knows? I could be an outside advisor for Duolingo. I don't know. That's kind of cool. I would love to talk to devs about how to incorporate like techniques that resonate with younger people, or sometimes adults, but I usually focus on people who are around the age of 18 through 25 is what I usually focus on. So video games and stuff target these things, and then how to get positive usefulness out of it. So yeah, long story short, I'm working on this bid for, like, maybe I'm thinking about changing this into some sort of professional capacity, but in the future. That was kind of my, like, plug. If I was in an interview, how would I explain what interests me? That's kind of a very quick less than 5 minute spiel on what interests me.
チェスをしましょう。
Chess. Oh yeah, I forgot about chess.
チェス
Chess をしましょう。
をしましょう。チェスをしましょう。
Learning is like a game to me. It's always been like a game to me. I love video games because I learned from video games. I don't like playing iterative games, but I love playing new games. And it gets me into the thought process of people. I've encouraged myself to read books because I'm discovering how people write books by reading their books or watching movies and stuff. I'm a guy who likes to take other people's ideas, learn from them, and then continue to pass them along. So video games, learning Japanese, how other people learn Japanese. I have a running glossary of how the different ways, the different advices people have given. It doesn't mean I'm using those advice. I'm picking whatever advice that's useful to me or that aligns with my ideas at the moment. But I have like a running glossary of 6 or 7 books that people bring up, 5 or 6 apps, right? 5 or 6 apps, I guess. 3 or 4 live media sources, 2 or 3 method approaches that are appropriate for this like whole streaming content. So that's kind of what I'm collecting. Otherwise, I'd be studying alone and not streaming at all. The whole streaming thing is to collect advice from people. both bad and good, or both ad hominem and not. You know, I've been attacked before, and that's also knowledge to be taken. Why are people attacking me for using Duolingo, right? So I've encountered a couple of those too, just at the character attack. And you got to get used to all this and be able to rationalize and be able to talk to all sorts of people. That's the challenge of being it. Both ad hominem and not, yes. It's a challenge and it's a lot of fun. I actually think it's quite fun. That might be a selfish thing, because when someone is vigorously attacking me, I do feel that I probably anger them in some way. I find it incredibly enthusiastically interesting. So usually I'm not the one that the feelings must be concerned. I'm more concerned about the person who's attacking me. So I got to make sure that I don't make myself a target of someone who may be feeling bad or need affirmation. Largely, I want to agree with them because most of their stuff is very valid. They make very valid points. Right. Ad hominem arguments are quite the strong ones. Quite the strong ones. Like, someone recently was pretty triggered by my comment about how people gatekeep fluency based on what you use. So, and oftentimes it's Duolingo, because I'm using Duolingo. So the context is, if you do use Duolingo, you cannot become fluent, right? That's gatekeeping. And someone said, well, that's not gatekeeping. It's telling people what are better methods. Well, a lesser method is still not going to gatekeep you from fluency. It's part of the process. So you've admitted, relatively speaking, that it's a less one. But what they're trying to say is it's useless and it will keep you from becoming fluent. That's gatekeeping. There's a difference between doing the slow game and slowly spending many more hours doing something than having something prevent you from doing it. And that's fear, doubt, and uncertainty that they're spreading, not being proactively encouraging. So that's the ad hominem stuff that I'm talking about a lot of times. The attack is on the person's character, not the actual product. The product is still progress towards steps towards fluency, however slow it may be, relatively speaking. Okay. Omatsuri.
お祭り
Party. Party, sorry. Party makes me laugh.
パーティー
Party. Senko.
先行
Incense, apparently. My friend Lotus told me this also means incense. Party. Patty. Party. Apparently this means incense. So from now on, I will always translate this to incense. I'll translate this to incense before I translate it to major. That's how I form associations. So this is incense from now on because of someone told me it also means incense, and now that's just what I'm gonna think about. Yep. Every time that person's here, I'm gonna take the opportunity to remind that person that I'm forever gonna remember Senko as incense. Yep. Yep. Chess. Chess? Yeah, chess.
チェス
Chessu. Chessu. That turns out really great. Some of these katakana words are fantastic. Chess. Chessu. Kantoku. Kantoku.
監督
I wanted to be a kantoku. Really, one of my first things I decided in high school, I wanted to be a kantoku. Specifically, actually a game developer at first. Then a movie director. So I learned a lot of extracurriculars like cinematography, stage design, and I took like several electives in like writing, classic literature. There were a lot, like music theory, Oh, I took a lot of random, like a lot of things that tried to build around being ahead of something, ahead of a project, but that didn't come to fruition. I ended up ultimately choosing science, or the pragmatic workhorse that is science.
好きなボードゲーム。
好きなボードゲーム。It wasn't like I didn't regret any of that because my analytical way of approaching most things now in critical thinking problem solving is the consequence of pursuing a career in science. 好きなボードゲーム。Favorite board game? Sure. Mo 難しい right? Difficult. So chess は難しいですか？難しいですか？ Okay.
チェスは難しいですか？
ボードゲームサークルはどうですか？ボードゲーム。
Oh, right. Sakuru is the other one from today. ボードゲームサークルは
ボードゲームサークルはどうですか？
Oh, サークルはどうですか？ When do you expect or hope you'll get to a level when you can, for example, try out playing some Japanese games? 150 days. Koika. And coincidentally, I've already mentioned this, but I am probably going to play a game called Mr. Sato or Sato-san. Let me bring up the developer. It's a Japanese developer, Laura Shikihara. So she made a game called Rakuen beforehand. I might actually replay Rakuen in Japanese too. This is a retro style. It's a really deep cut game. Like it's about loss and yeah, Laura Shikihara. Yep. Laura Shikihara. So I already played Requiem in English, so it's in the YouTube channel and all that stuff. So I might replay this in Japanese before I play Sato-san. Yes, the composer of Planetverse. Yes, that same Laura Shikihara. Yes, you are correct. And then she went on. Ain't no way. Yeah, so she left PopCap. She left PopCap eventually and joined Freebird Games to collaborate with Freebird Games. And that's the same person. Yep. And she largely solo developed with some aid, Requiem. And then she recently released a smaller game called Sato-san. And Sato-san is in the universe of Requiem. And this game is beautiful. It's kind of like there are lots of these games cropping up now, like Omari. Omari is I think that's the name. Omari is another popular one that follows this. And Freebird Games is an entire indie studio that makes similar theme games about like life, conditions, slice of life, overcoming death, like or legacy building or regrets and stuff. So it's very heavy. Omori. Oh yeah, Omori. Sorry, Omori. That's right. Yeah, Omori. I haven't played Omori yet. So that might be another Japanese game. I do play a lot of storytelling games because I like reading dialogue. I like practicing reading dialogue and stuff and digressing about life and life decisions and regrets and finding closure and stuff. So she ended up collaborating with Freebird Games. And then her game that she came up with, Rakuen, is very similar to the niche that Freebird Games came up with To the Moon. And To the Moon is its own universe too. And they have multiple games that deal with the To the Moon universe. And she is creating her own universe and she's the composer and all that. So these are the two games. So this might be it. Poika. If I had to say, it's probably this. We're probably gonna play Rakuyen, and Sato-san again. And Rakuyen is taking perspective from a kid's perspective, like a younger kid's perspective. That would help me with my Japanese. So I already know all the English that's in Rakuyen. So even with my memory and stuff and the context, I can help reinforce Japanese. So there's a chance I'll be playing both English, then Japanese, English, then Japanese again. Probably. Unless my Japanese takes so long. The next Like a Dragon game. Although, something very, very soon is that I still have to play the Like a Dragon 8 Infinite Wealth through with Mandarin. Mandarin audio. I still haven't done that. I've been pushing it off a little bit. Mandarin and Japanese audio. So I've played all the Like a Dragon games up to this point with all the audio available, but I put it on pause on these two because I've already done the English playthrough. I was gonna try to see if I can get some competence in Japanese audio. This is probably really the true next thing, only for completion's sake stuff. So you'll probably hear my Japanese if that's gonna happen, although it's not gonna be from comprehension standpoint. When I go to Requiem and Sato-san, I'm probably going to try to read and translate it at the same time and slowly go through the game one at a time. This one is the next most recent one. I'm gonna do it in the next like month or so, and I'm gonna see if I can pick up any words here and there, because this is a much more complicated topic. Rakuyen is about a kid who is trying to observe the world around them, and all the dialogue and stuff is a lot like younger and simpler dialogue. So I imagine this would be an excellent place to try to apply some of the Japanese that I know. Hopefully that answers your question in a very long way. Omari was one of your favorite games, so I guess I'll soon be playing these as well. Oh, what more Omari like games would you suggest? Ooh, that's a good question. Oh, you love Omari. I haven't played Omari, but before Omari, man, Freebird games. Freebird games are great, but let me double check. You could even probably use it as a way to critique their Japanese games if you like. So Freebird games is English, but they do have localizations. So if you like Japanese stuff, you might be able to like critique their localization team. I personally think Omari like games started with this group. They're called Freebird. Let me see if they have localizations. Yeah. No, they don't have. Wait. Oh, they do have Japanese localizations. They actually have all the localization because these are text-based games with no audio. So before Freebird. If you look up this dev, if you like the content, I know a little bit of Omori and I love those types of games all the time. Freebird Games is a dev that only does this type of content. Like it's kind of heartbreaking but silver lining, feeling good, you know, like finding the silver linings in life and finding a clever way of spinning it, revisiting youth when you're getting old, making friends that transcend time, that kind of thing. It's Freebird Games. Their breakout hit is To the Moon, and they, in my opinion, in the indie game space, this would be the team where you're gonna find a lot of other people who worked with them or collaborate with them that go on to like do similar things. Like To the Moon is fantastic, and I played their follow-up, which is Finding Paradise, they also have a smaller game in between, a bird song, and then the one that I haven't played is called Imposter's Factory or something. Imposter's Factory. But this would be a great place to start if you want something. And when sales come up, they're like $3. And they'll give you like a 10-hour to 15-hour really meaningful, profound stuff. And all of these are localized. So because these are text-based, more or less top-down, like clicking and interacting stuff. And then obviously I would highly recommend Requiem, and if you which I think it's like $3 on sale a lot of times. Really heartfelt things. And obviously the aesthetics will be different. They each of these groups have their own aesthetics, but I absolutely love these games. So I'm going to try to use Japanese for those, because it's not about high octane gameplay and Twitch-based thing. It's about the language, how useful the words are, and then they really maximize the use of sprite mechanic, like sprite design. The animations are filled with character as opposed to hyper realism and whatnot. So it's very artsy, lots of artsy writing, and the language is the most important thing. So I can't wait. As a start, if you like those things, Omori is definitely on. I will definitely be playing that in very near future. It's not the same as if you're going into like double A or AAA titles, and you're really into that stuff. It's the American, like the English ones would be kind of like, they're kind of bigger productions, and I don't think they're exactly the same feel. But usually Remedy, I would say Remedy Entertainment is the on top of that type of thing, but that's like really far out. That's like blockbuster type of storytelling, you know, paranormals, action packed, and suspense thriller stuff. I like my tear jerking, espresso depresso, but also makes you appreciate life kind of thing. And Omori strikes that pretty much. You need a cup of depression next to your cup of depression next to your cup of, like, I don't know, life sucks, you know, double dipping on that stuff.
ボードゲームサークルはどうですか?
I hope that is interesting. Okay, so Valentia. Borantia. Oh no, it's Bo. Oh. Borantia. I gotta remember. Every time I think it's a ba, it's a bo. Or every time I think it's an o, it's an ah. And then every time I think it's an ah, it's a re. In katakana. Borantia. Borantia Sakuru. Sakuru wa dou desu ka?
ボランティア、サークル
Sakuru wa
どうですか?
花さん、好きなボードゲームは何ですか? 花
Hana-san
は
Wait,
は
I think that was just a direct. Hana-san
好きな
Skina board game
は
wa
花さん、好きなボードゲームは何ですか?
nani desu ka?
何か
Sure. What's your favorite board game? Andoryu. I'm probably gonna play all the games that I've mentioned in Japanese. With, like, I'm gonna play them probably over in English, and then I'm gonna play them over in Japanese to get like that back and forth, so I can compare and contrast. I tend to be able to remember the most recent game that I played, so I can compare and contrast between how much I comprehend in Japanese versus how much I comprehend in English. Eventually, I'm going to leave Duolingo Japanese and use Duolingo for Mandarin and then Spanish. But once I leave Duolingo for Japanese, I'm going to be playing games in both English and Japanese. And specifically, for me, my favorite things to do is play story-rich games. So oftentimes, they come in Japanese. And a lot of my games also come in heavy text-based dialogue. So I like to mess around with voice acting. If you like reading out loud and reading dialogue to yourself, even if you're not streaming or anything, like you're not a streamer or something, maybe if you want to become a streamer or a content thing, reading out loud and hearing yourself read out loud is really great. So it would be great to, it's a great exercise, a great way to practice, in my opinion, to developing language. A lot of my intricacies when it comes to being able to take on different personas in English, like talk specifically, like talk like a kid or talk like an adult, how to be comforting, how to be aggressive in English, comes from really observing how people write dialogue and describe things in literature and in video games. So if I'm learning Japanese, I got to get at least to that point, even without doing any conversational work. Thanks for your suggestions. I never heard of these games. I'm definitely am going to play them. Nice. I feel free to come back and tell me what you think of them. They're really great. And if you're really into omori, I have no reservations that you'll probably find that similar feel. Generally, if you don't like omori, I wouldn't recommend these games because they can hit really hard. And it can make you feel things. So since you already mentioned that you like that type of game, these are heavily. As for language, I'm not at the Japanese level yet. Only recently started learning. I see. But for some new English vocab would be good, I think. Yeah. I think doing the thing where you play it in English, and if you love the game, right? When story-rich games, it becomes very salient in your mind. Your mind captures a lot of that meaning. So oftentimes when you play a game in your native language and then you play it again in your target language, it becomes very vivid. So lots of my Japanese that I picked up was because video games come in both audio even. So I love the Like a Dragon series now because how well I remember English translates to, like, in real time into the Japanese perspective. And then you have the visual cadence and also the performance in the higher, more produced games. In these games though, since they're really text-based heavy, you have the option of going back and forth between Japanese and English. So you can like play a scene over or play more scenes over back and forth, and you can kind of get the feel of it, even if you don't know any of the vocabulary, right? So that's kind of, it's always there. And those story games like these are timeless. They will mean differently and back and forth between languages. Actually, I would even say that playing Like a Dragon through in English and soon to be Mandarin. So at Sega, they decided all their Like a Dragon games now have 3 audio tracks, and the feeling is different because the languages are very different. So it's actually quite wonderful, and I'm wondering how it feels if I read the text over. So English, then Japanese, and they're timeless stories. It's going to be different in 10 years. It's going to play differently in 10 years, another 10 years, 20, 30 years. These stories are absolutely timeless. They're about the human condition. So they're about death, closure, finding overcoming mistakes, that kind of thing. It's not about graphical prowess, but so you can always revisit and see what's lost in translation and stuff. At least in my opinion. It's kind of like reading a book, but if a book is not for you and you want some like music to go along with it, some interactivity, yeah, these are definitely the next step. I've been reading grade readers for a while now, but definitely if there's a video game with a great story, oh yeah. There was another game, if you're learning Japanese, the newest game, if you're not on a budget, Sashinko is a, as the name implies, photo language, right? Sashinko is a recent one that came out that uses like photography to teach. Yeah, it's a really good base. So if you're interested in something that's a little bit interactive and you're saying your Japanese might not be like you're only recently started, Sashinko. And Sashinko I haven't played yet because it was just released. I usually wait on sales because I'm a little bit tighter on budget at the moment. But this would be a great title recently. They made great strides. And you might be able to bump into the dev, by the way. You might be able to bump into the dev. It's not this group is still an indie group. So if you ever like participate in a community or something, you can always be, if you're ever interested in interacting with the devs or what they're going to make next. Usually I focus a lot on indie devs a lot of times. I don't know if you stream or make content or something, but usually when you end up participating in communities that has a growing dev group, like this group, I forgot what the name of the group is. I have yet to play this, but yeah, Sashinko is a great little fun, cute, go around photographs and it teaches vocabulary. Something as an alternative to something like this. You know, this is kind of dry. I think this is kind of dry compared to video games as a way to learn Japanese. Video games, there are quite a few of them out there. At the moment, but storytelling games, it's a great way to learn vocabulary and finding more meaning in things. Okay. So let's see, Andrew, would you like to join the tennis club? Okay. Andoryu san, I'm just addressing you, right? Yeah. Andoryu-san. Tennis sakuru. Sakuru o harimasen ka? Or ni harimasen ka? Yes. Yes. Where are my doko desu ka? Tennis. Sakuru ni harimasen ka? So Andoryu-san, tennis sakuru ni harimasen ka?
ボランティアサークルに入ります。カイさんも一緒に入りませんか？
Okay, she wants Kai to volunteer with her. Wait. Yes. Yeah. Volunteer. Yeah, volunteer saakuru ni harimasu. So club here in Duolingo is sakuru instead of yes. Yep. You got it. They introduced both eventually. So it's kind of like Kipu, right? They ended up also introducing Chiketo, and I'm sure they're going to introduce train specific ticket as well. The thing that they typically do is this. It's pretty random, but they tend to do a one-to-one hiragana hiragana stuff to katakana. So in this case, yeah, it's they ended up choosing sekuru, sakuru, and I'm used to the thing you wrote because of anime, because of high school clubs. So yeah, they do introduce both though eventually. Sometimes they go back and forth. Like for example, Kipu and Chiketo are both introduced at some point, but they started with Kipu instead. So that happens. Oh, by the way, Blue, I'm on late because my ISP crapped out for 3 hours, so I'm making up the other half of the lesson. I already took a nap and ate dinner, so this would naturally be the time I doing that. So it's not too bad. Not too bad. And I got sidetracked because I talked to there's a lot of people, or at least 2 people that keeps me talking about some cool stuff. Some cool stuff, Blue. What time is it for you actually, Blue? Now that I think about it. Is this late for you? I'm usually up for another 3 hours. I look at my wrist all the time like I have a watch, but I haven't ever worn a watch. So it's kind of weird, that little motion of looking at your wrist. You're Pacific time? Ah, Pacific boy. Boyo. Fair enough. How about the chess club? Ken-san wa... No, just Ken-san. Oh, I don't like this phrasing at all, but Ken-san... Yeah, Ken-san. Chess sakuru. Sakuru wa dou desu ka?
Ken-san.
Ken-san's lumped together.
Wa.
Whoops.
Wa.
Chess.
Sakuru.
Sakuru wa
Dou
dou
desu
desu
ka?
ka? Oh, yeah. This one doesn't come up very often, but you know. Kai-san. Okay. Kai-san mo card game. Oh no, that's not card game. Oh wait. Oh, Ken-san. Oh yeah, Ken-san. No. That's game something. Game Sakuru. Just a game club? Oh, video game club. I forgot. Game video games. Okay. Okay. Kai-san mo game Sakuru ni harimasen ka? Okay, that's fair. Do you also want to join the... Fair enough. Would you also like to join the game club? The game club. I suppose game club works. Danieru-san mo... What kind of club? Chess sakuru. Chess sakuru ni wa... ni harimasen ka? Oh, harimasu ka? Oh, wait. Did I misread the last one? That's fine. It's okay. Let's keep going.
一緒にボードゲームをしましょう。
一緒にボードゲームをしましょう。Sure. We should play board games together. Oh, that's cute. We should play board games together. ボードゲームがボードゲームが大好きです。Fair enough. ボードゲームサークルに入ります。
に
Oops.
が
Fair
に
enough.
ボランティアサークルはどんなサークルですか？
Swapping up the particles. Nice. With a similar context, just to contrast the particles. I wasn't listening to you, Junior. What did you say? Borantia sakuru wa dona sakuru desu ka? What kind of question is that? What kind of club is the volunteer club? Okay, fair enough. I get it. Borantia sakuru.
ボランティア
Borantia sakuru.
サークル
Gee, I wonder. I know, right? What kind of club is a volunteer club? Junior, what kind of question is that? Okay. Hana-san.
花さん
Hana-san. Ooh. Wait. Hana-san mo. Yeah, this is the phrasing that I kind of disagree with, but Hana-san mo anime sakuru ni hairimasen ka?
アニメ
Anime
サークル
sakuru
に
ni
入りませんか？
pretty sure. I don't like this phrasing though. The phrasing that they have for the English question. But this would be the most reasonable way of expressing this. And that's it. We finally reached the end for today. We did our personalized practice and our 11 lessons as per usual. We'll be switching it up tomorrow a little bit. So tomorrow my schedule has changed because Neverwinter Online is getting an update, module 28. So I will be doing a probably 2 to 3 hour thing, and then I'm gonna be hyper focused probably and try to get 2 to 3 hours and get these two. By the way it's structured, this is gonna be second half, so second half of a new vocab, and then for whatever reason they decided to make this a review of the first half, so this will go pretty quickly. So this is the first half review. So they review the first half twice now. I don't understand that. Somewhere along the line it used to be this reviews the second half and this reviews the first half with the personalized practice in between. So new mod, new things. Tuesday is launch day. Then this becomes every Monday. So every Monday is gonna be a half day for Duo. I wonder if Neverwinter Online is in Japanese. It is an international crowd, but it doesn't include a server that is Asian friendly. So I don't think so. That'll be interesting. I haven't ever met someone from that side of the place. It's European heavy. Yeah. That's it. We did it. Even though we lost 3 hours. That's fine. It was a little bit triggering. I did feel quite alive. My face kind of got a little red waiting. I waited for an hour. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go take a nap. So I went to take a nap for an hour, right? Evening siesta. And then I ate dinner for an hour, and then it finally came back. So we came back, did our thing. Pleasant smiles, all the day's work. Very, very classic. Leaderboard is kind of getting a little out of hand. But I got interrupted. So, we'll see. I want to keep in the top 3. It's kind of fun to try to keep it in the top 3, right? At those stats. I think I can take 3rd place. We're doing just enough to like collect some stats. Something to keep myself friendly, motivated. Hardcore casual, as I say. Hardcore casual. Hardcore casual player. If you can't beat them in a short run, you can beat them with a long run. Or I call it the endurance match, right? I'm ultimately an endurance person. You can do it for 60 days, I'll do it for 120 days. That's kind of how my life works. Persistence is what I'm selling. Not necessarily life hacks, but I can tell you one thing. Okay, low key, I'm not going to, I'm not saying I'm going to do this or I want to do this, but if there's something, if someone have ever asked me and would fund a masterclass from me, my masterclass would be in how to be an endurance-minded person. So, like, how to get yourself from burning out. That's probably what my masterclass is. If there's anything that I'm very experienced with, is how to get burnt out, how to deal with that burnt out, recover from that burnt out, and then learn from it. Or, alternatively, learning to manage burnout without burning out, right? So, if there's anything, energy is on my side. So, if it also means proving some people wrong, yeah, so be it. I'm not out to be proving people wrong. And if fluency never comes in Japanese, that's not how you think. So, as a person who doesn't burn out, you don't think about what's going to happen way, way down the line. You worry about what's happening now. So, with that, I want to leave it on a great message, right? Ask yourself every day when you're getting on, the things you choose to do. I'll leave you with some rhetoric. The things you choose to do. If you currently ask yourself, do you associate any negative feelings with the things you choose to do? Because if you have negative feelings with the things you choose to do, then that's already a sign of a red flag for all the things you have to do. So naturally, the thing I can offer a lot of times to individuals, perhaps, is I like to turn the things they choose to do, like for example, sit here or like tune in and listen to me. That's something you voluntarily choose to do. So if you want to challenge me, I want to make you feel important. That is the idea. So things you choose to do should bring great things to you. It should make you happy. It should challenge you. It should exhaust you with positive stress. When you go to the gym and you leave the gym, it should give you positive stress. You know, the endorphins, dopamine and stuff, the flashback, not cortisol, the negative stress, where the things you have to do and are out of your control, like you have to make money, you have to like deal with life consequences and all that stuff. Those stuff, the things you choose to do is supposed to help you with that. It's supposed to build you up, right? So if I ever get the opportunity, you bet that I will try my darndest to at least indirectly show you that even the most mundane things, like learning on Duolingo, because apparently Duolingo is very boring to advanced learners and people who like to learn, it can be very interesting. It can be a vehicle for discussion and interest and talking about random video games. If Duolingo isn't slow and being criticized, I wouldn't have these discussions in the first place, right? So the things you choose to do, hopefully they provide a lot of reward to you. The people you choose to listen to, the people you spend time listening to, I hope they are offering you some value. right? Go out there and look at things that can help you feel great about yourself and educate yourself or challenge yourself in the now. You know, the things you choose to do, it's great to have a lofty goal, but the things you get to choose, you can control so much of it. So why not make it pay out now and constantly remind you of what it's doing for you? Don't lose touch with all that. Like, I've seen so many grind, like the G word. The grind word is so intoxicating these days. Oh, I played this game. I love this game. 6 months later, oh yeah, you know, I'm just grinding this game. And it's gone. They're like lifeless. It's so colorless. Their conversations about what they're doing is so non-detailed. Like the first month, it's like, oh yeah, I love doing this. I remember doing this. Oh, it was great. And then 6 months later, they're like, you know, I always played these games. I'm like, that's all you're gonna tell me? What is the what can you tell me something exciting about it? Right? If you catch yourself doing this, you're choosing to do something that's not giving you enough, in my opinion. Oftentimes when people say I voluntarily like to do this, you should be super excited, in my opinion, to want to say something about it. So if you were telling me something, I'm going to ask you about it, right? Oh, you play retro speedrunning games, right? Let's talk about it, because that's interesting to me, and you should be interested too, because you're choosing and voluntarily choosing to share that and also do that. I can understand if you're talking about your work and you just say, oh yeah, you know, it's a paycheck and stuff. That's cool. That's awesome. But whenever I ask you, oh, what are you doing recently? And you share a hobby, I hope you're enthusiastic and passionate and you want to share that. If not, then sure as heck, I'll give a college try to get you to talk about it. Because generally speaking, someone else's interest in another person's choices can elevate their life. And I can't emphasize this enough. The things you choose to do, if they elevate you, pretty much anything else is effective. They become more efficacious. You feel less burdensome by those things. Your productivity actually goes up when the things you choose are building you up so much. So for me, that's what keeps burnout at bay, in my opinion. One of the biggest contributors to keeping burnout at bay is burnout sometimes feel obligatory, as in you want to have to do this because there's some sort of obligation. And for me, I self-obligated myself while also making it feel like a choice. So I choose to come on stream, but I also choose to be incredibly exhausted and challenging. That's positive stress. And then I can chill and, you know, relax when I'm off stream. So trust me, there's one consistency in these streams, and I will be casually but hardcorely enjoying every moment of it. Even when someone says I have a stick up my butt. By the way, if you're curious when that happened, it's day 8. Video day 8. When I had an interesting conversation with someone who we were measuring how long of a stick we have up each other's butts. That's pretty much how that works out. Anyways, with that, please, as always, until next time, tomorrow, stay safe, stay healthy, choose to do things that help you and make you feel great. Okay? Choose to... I wish that everyone has too many things they can choose to do to feel great about themselves. Because life already throws things you have to do. Ain't got time to build yourself up off things that you have to do in life. But the things you choose is always great. Find somebody that makes them great too, right? All the best. Alright, until next time, as always, mata ashita. Ja ne. And thank you, Waika.